us. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I don't have other things to do, so this is what you're going to get from me at podcasting and asking people what out of everything that I do, and feel free to do it here too. Of course, you may not know everything that I do, but the stuff that you know, what is it that you like? I have a feeling everybody's going to say the podcast, and I would have to agree. Out of everything I do, I think that's probably. Why is it not on Facebook? Oh, silly, not auto reloading. Okay. And of course, I got to put my, I got to show love, put my Bronco shirt. This is my Miller shirt. Miller. These are the Bills now. It's kind of an asshole. Kind of wish he would have. All right. But we're going to do the spiritual experience. So if you have your big book, okay, Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, don't go buy the big book or you will get a different book. It won't be this book. What we're looking for is Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, the spiritual experience is actually in the back. It's in I believe it's in the appendices or whatever you call the end of the book, right? On 552. That is a lie. It is not on 552. Dion thought he knew what he was talking about. It is on 567. Well, I tried to be prepared. I tried. And I usually wait till about the 3-minute mark to get going. I have too many hot shirts on. And I have a heater going. And the heat's on. I used to be that guy where I wore shorts everywhere. And that doesn't happen anymore. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. When you're going too fast. Yeah, page 557. Good to see you, Bren. Good to see you. And thank you, folks, for joining that other group. I kind of felt like grassroots needs to be separated from this because I'm planning on doing other things. So, welcome to Daily Trudge. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. One thing I may be doing is, doesn't matter. Maybe. I don't know. So the spiritual experience on page 567. 567. I'm so sorry. People are like, Dion, you don't even know what page you're on. I'm out of here. Page 567 in the 4th edition. Why does it say host? My name is Dion. It should say Dion, not host. My name isn't host. Well, if there's somebody else writing it. Yeah. Anyway, okay. I apologize. Restream has not been treating me very well, so therefore I'm going to pick on everything that they do. They're probably tired of hearing from me. They opened a can of worms. Creak. Let's get going. All right. I'll make sure these are the appendices. Yes, they are. So the appendices are the AA tradition, the spiritual experience. The spiritual experience is actually pretty quick for me. Let's talk a little bit about the AA tradition on 563. To those now in its fold, Alcoholics Anonymous has made the difference between misery and sobriety, and often the difference between life and death. AA can, of course, mean just as much to the uncounted alcoholics not yet reached. Therefore, no society of men and women ever had a more urgent need for continued effectiveness and permanent unity. We alcoholics see that we must work together and hang together, else most of us will finally die alone. I don't want that. It hurts when I see somebody die alone. It does. I've been there before. We've been there before. And it just doesn't need to happen. The 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous are we A's believe the best answers that our experience has yet given to those ever urgent questions. How can AA best function? And how can AA best stay whole and so survive? I'm not going to read the whole thing, just one more paragraph, which is probably the end of it. No, it's not. On the next page, the AA's 12 traditions are seen in their so-called short form, the form in general use today. That's what Dion forgot to do today. He forgot to do the traditional 11 in the series. Okay. This is the condensed version of the original long form. AA traditions are printed in 1946 because the long form is more explicit and of possible historic value. It is also reproduced. Explicit. Nowadays, that would be something entirely different, wouldn't it? All right. I love my football, but not at my own comfort level. This is too hot. It's too hot. It's so hot in here. Eddie, what time is it, Eddie? It's so hot in here. A little bit of Eddie Murphy stand up. The terms. So we're going to go ahead and get to it. 567 for reals. So the term spiritual experience and a spiritual awakening are used many times in this book, which, upon careful reading, shows that the personality change sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism has manifested itself among us in many different forms. Now, I'm bringing this up because there was something said in the group about no relationships and no sex for the first year. And that discussion's moved on. It's very good. I'm proud of that group, man. So it's gonna be different for you. Yeah. Sorry. Swallow wrong. So I forgot what I was going to say. Yet, it is true that our first printing gave many readers the impression that these personality changes or religious experiences must be in the nature of sudden and spectacular upheavals. Happily for everyone, this conclusion is erroneous. And they do. Go read Bill's story. If you ever, I remember what I was going to say now. That alcoholism manifests itself among us in many different ways. When I'm working with somebody that's like brand new and they haven't really read the big book and stuff yet, I ask them that they don't read the first 164 pages without me. I ask them to read the stories in the back. And I do that because of this part right here. See, it's the stories that catch up with the times. And what do the stories do? Well, they bring hope. They help you understand I'm not turning, and the stories will help you get through the first step easier than the first 164 pages. Because you'll be reading and you're like, that's me. That's me. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. And we can start to come to our own conclusion. See, alcoholism and addiction, in this case, okay, I'm not an alcoholic until I say I am. It is the only addiction, one of the only diseases where it's all leaving my head now, right? Where we're qualifying it yourself. What do we call that? Anyway, you got to do it yourself. Okay. A doctor might say you have alcoholism, but a doctor cannot deem you an alcoholic. You've got to make that. There's power in it. Remember the first time you said, my name is da-da-da and I'm an alcoholic? That feeling in your gut kind of hurt, huh? It's kind of a sock in the gut, wasn't it? Okay. Well, Bill sort of bam, but there was good reasons for this. There were very good reasons. Dr. Bob was the total opposite, right? But in the beginning, they give hope by saying, oh, it happens. For me, that would be highly uncomfortable. This is what I say. If God gave me a burning bush, not now, it wouldn't, right? Hey, Becky, it's good to see you. Yes, self-identify. Yeah, there you go. It's a great way to put it. Yeah. Self-diagnosis. That's what it was. So Alcoholism is the only, well, an addiction, right, where we can do that. In fact, it's the only one where it needs to be done. Right. So in the first few chapters, a number of sudden revelatory changes are described. Though it was not our intention to create such an impression, many alcoholics have nevertheless concluded that in order to recover, they must acquire an immediate and overwhelming God consciousness, followed at once by a vast change in feeling and outlook. See how the stories help probably a little bit better? I would think. Yeah. Ugh. Sorry. I might need to make another pot of coffee. I keep doing that in a deep breath. The best way, okay, because when I get excited and I feel better, I da 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 da, and then I use up all my dopamine, and I don't want to do that. So what do? I stop. Just have you ever just slow down? Okay. Sometimes I'll run into doors and shit. I'll be bruised when I get excited. People are like, that's ADHD. No, it is not. It is a regulatory system. I'm tired of hearing those words. But if you go through the book, there's a series of things that happens. Ebby goes to court because he got caught drinking. He did something. The Oxford group came along and said, can you suspend his sentence and let us try and work with him first? This is where it started for Alcoholics Anonymous. One of those things was giving it away. So what happened? Well, Ebby 12-stepped Bill. Somebody had to do it. Bill's just another human being like everybody else. But here's the thing. God picked Bill. God picked Ebby. God picked you. We're all Bill. We're all Ebby. Okay? Dr. Bob, okay? He didn't meet him till 6 months later, right? Because he found the key was giving it away. But then Lois had brought up it was Dr. Silkworth that said to him, hey, you know what? You've been sober for 6 months. Do you not see what's going on? And that was it. And one day he was in Akron doing some business which failed utterly, which was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. If his business would have gone the way it was supposed to, I bet he would have drank. But it didn't, because we always buckle down during those hard times. It's the excitement that fucking kills us. In fact, when they talk about emotions, excitement leads the procession, right? So he's standing there. He goes back to his hotel, of which he can't pay for because his business fell through. And he's standing in the hotel lobby, okay? And he's got those ducks on his shoulders, the evil duck and the good duck. And the evil duck's like, can't you hear the clattering and because what are alcoholics? We're lonely. Well, for 6 months, he even tried to get other people sober with no success. It was a very lonely business, right? So he had a choice. He either was going to look at the church directory or he was going to go to the bar. Well, he looked at the church directory, called a phone number, ended up talking to Dr. Bob. Now we got AA. But Dr. Bob said he had cravings for 2.5 years. So, all right. There we go. A little bit of history. See what happened? I let go of some stuff that I'm not doing anymore. These lives will now change. They will now change because I don't have the other stuff on my mind anymore. It's already working. Thank you, God. Thank you for letting me do that, get it done. And did it succeed? Sure. See, I don't get to plan the results. I can see it. I can kind of see this vision, but the results, I don't know, because I'm not going to take away my own worth there. Among our rapidly growing membership of thousands of alcoholics, such transformations, though frequent, are by no means the rule. I tell you now, I don't want it. I did not want it. The sudden upheaval scares the fuck out of me. Okay. Not as much anymore. I get what's called a 2x4 effect where I have sudden change. It's highly uncomfortable. It's highly uncomfortable. I don't know what this fear is of, of letting God all the way in. But it was a hard one for me. Okay. And I don't do it 100% of the time, but I do the best that I can. Most of our experiences are what the psychologist William James calls the educational variety because they develop slowly over a period of time. Okay, you heard William James. Well, William James Silkworth. I don't know if it's the same person, though. I don't. I'm assuming not because they're saying William James. But let's remember, people had a lot of the same names back then. And once the first 164 pages, they're full of sandwiches. They all ate sandwiches back then. Something I've noticed. I decided one sandwich wasn't enough. Okay. Do you guys not eat anything besides sandwich? Oh, that's right. The invention of sliced bread. There we go. Right? Because they develop slowly over a period of time. And here it comes. And this is why. And Becky kind of brought this up. It's the identity. It's our identity, right? Because a lot of us have this fear we're going to get into AA and we're going to lose our identity. Well, now that we're in it, we're like, fuck, there wasn't much of an identity to really, but at least we had one. And that was better than nothing. It really is. It's still better than nothing. Quite often, friends of the newcomer are aware of the difference long before he is himself. If you've listened to me long enough, you know what I'm going to say. Encourage them, for God's sakes. If you see that somebody has made progress, see, the thing is once you're not so judgy and preemptive about everything, you can see the person for who they are, and you'll usually find something very beautiful. Say it. I was just in a meeting, and this lady, she was excited because she finally bought herself a Porsche. Now, I saw some eyes roll. So what? After the meeting, I told her, good job. You fucking earned that. You think God doesn't gift us with material things for doing the right thing? I've got my PlayStation 5. I've got a decent car. I live in a decent house. Yeah, he does. See, I have found that God will provide you for what you need if you do his work well. And every now and again, he'll give you what you want too. Yeah. Okay. And then I proceeded to let her know, hey, whatever you're doing, you keep on doing it. Because you sound better, you look better, you're doing something. Okay. I'll tell you the switch I saw. I didn't bring it up. Her eyes were starting to shine. I always notice when the eyes start to shine because now I'm looking at a different person. And I get to experience it with them. So encourage them. You will feel so great at the end of the day for just saying, hey, I know you can't see it yet, but you're doing really good. I know things suck, but you know what that means? It means you're on the right track. We all went through that part, okay? So you're on the right track. A little bit of encouragement goes such a long way, especially with these new people. They don't know if they're doing okay. They don't know this shit. We can't assume that they know, right? So let's, hey, man, let's get a little more love up there. Philip finally realizes that he has undergone a profound alteration in his reaction to life. Okay? I'm going to let you know something. You're probably going to have intrusive thoughts for the rest of your life. It happens to me all the time. I'm getting better at it, but I can't stop that immediate. I can't. Okay? So usually when it comes to the first thought in my head, I tend to ignore it because it's probably no good. I know that, and I can laugh at that. That's why I'm able to do it. But I wouldn't be able to do it until I started able to laugh at myself about certain things. Doesn't mean I'm stupid. Let's go with silly. It's kind of silly. Nothing wrong with silly. Yeah, but you've gone through a profound alteration, and you may not even notice. This is usually how it'll sound from them. I don't know what's going on with me, but I know I feel a little bit better. That's all you need. Oh, yeah? You think you haven't been doing it? I've been sitting here listening to you for 2 months, and you went from whining and crying to, hey, I got to help out today. That's big. It's big. What else can we give a little bit? You showed up. You know how hard it is? Yes, you do. You know how hard it is to be a fucking alcoholic and walk into a room of people you don't know, and they're all laughing, and your life is fucking ending. It sucks. It's not fun. Okay. So what do I give? And I say this quite often, especially if there's a lot of newcomers in the meeting. I have respect for anybody that walks into the room and says, hey, I don't know anymore. You will get a lot of respect from them. Now that carries a lot of weight with men. Oh, you respect me? I didn't even do anything. Oh yeah, you did. You did the hardest thing in the world. You just took 1,000-pound brick on your fucking back. You walked in with your head hanging low. Well, the court forced me. They can't force you to do anything. We call that a nudge from the judge. Okay? But you have free will. You don't have to go. You don't have to do anything. Yet, if we want a better life, gosh, you know, you got to participate. Yeah. This is what I was told, and this was for me. Okay. I was sitting with my sponsor. I was still kind of new this time around. I said, you know, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I knew I was in trouble. I said, you know, Paul, there's a lot of Pauls in AA. You know, Paul A, a lot of Paul A's in the book. I said, I'm just going to go to meetings for the next week and listen. And he turned, and as soon as he turned to me, he's like, the fuck you are? He said, and he didn't say it that way. He said, well, then don't even bother going. If you're not going to go to a meeting, share your experience, strength, and hope, and give away what was so freely given to you, don't bother. That one hit me hard, man. And it's true for me. It doesn't need to be true for everybody else. But I can tell you from my experience that the people that participate in the meetings tend to make it. Meeting makers make it. Not go log into Zoom, hide behind your camera, and kind of listen in. That's not a meeting maker. No. I notice a lot of people doing a lot of other stuff, you know. So I've been trying to, you know, because I can clean and do other stuff. So, but then it doesn't look like I'm listening. So I try and do this a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to. So what often takes place, oh, wait a minute. He finally realizes that he has undergone a profound alteration in his reaction to life, that such a change could hardly have been brought about by himself alone. Now, what did it take? Well, it took a higher power of your own choosing and a tribe. It takes a tribe to get and stay sober. Fellowship is extremely important. The right fellowship is extremely important. All right. Not all AA meetings are the same. So you just go find one that fits you. Don't worry about the other stuff for now. Don't worry about it. Okay. What often takes place in a few months could seldom have been accomplished by years of self-discipline. I'm going to tell you something. AA and I am a catalyst. And what a catalyst is it takes something and it speeds it up. Now, how am I a catalyst? Well, I got Adams County to flip $2.2 million. Otherwise, it was 3 years down the road. I made that happen quicker. How did I do that? I complained a lot. I did. I'd like to say I advocated, but no. I'm like, no, we're in real trouble here. And you know what? Now I'm friends with some of these people because I did that. And they came back. They were like, you know what, Dion? We want the right thing. You were correct. Oh, you just thought I was some crazy dude. Yeah. No, I know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Doesn't mean I'm right all the time because I'm not. Okay. Okay. Now, there are other programs that are out there that will also be a catalyst. Hey, Amber, it's good to see you, as always. You know, but a psychologist, a doctor, a therapist cannot do for you, or even church, unless you decide to do certain things in church, like go to confession, because that's what the fourth step is. It's confession. It's just you're not getting a bunch of Hail Marys and, you don't have to go whip yourself. There's no self-abuse when it comes to ours, right? When it comes to that, it's a realization. Just calling it different stuff so that it'll fit for us. And that's okay too, right? But AA will make it happen quicker. Right? Amber, what did your sponsor say to you? How soon do you want to get well? I think it's a great question. Yeah. It's a great question. How soon do you want to get well? Well, today. Well, then let's get started. What an exciting question. It does. It creates excitement and hope. It's a great question. I'm very proud of your sponsor for that stuff. And then you're going to tell me, well, he stole it from someone else, and that's still okay. With few exceptions, our members find they have tapped an unsuspecting inner resource, which they presently identify with their own conception of power greater than themselves. An unsuspecting. So what do they say? Well, we had it all the time. We had it all the time. If you're not willing, pray to be willing. Oh, you're already willing because you prayed. See? Fake it till you make it. It doesn't mean you really fake it. What does it mean? It means it's going to be uncomfortable. So fake it till you make it. It's going to, yeah, it'll be uncomfortable. So most of us think this awareness of a power greater than ourselves is the essence of a spiritual experience. Our more religious members call it God consciousness. Yeah. Take either one. No, you are not in a rewatch. You are not in a rewatch. A lot of that is going to start to get fixed. Okay. A lot of it is going to start to get fixed. Just a quick update, because I don't know that everybody was in the last one. But all the stuff that the extracurricular things that I do to protect and report and all that stuff, I'm done. I have finished it. There's not really much else I can do. So it's freeing me up to do other things. So until I settle down for the next week, I'll probably be going live a lot. But I also want some podcasting going on. So, and there's two people here, couple people here. Ingrid, you haven't been on yet. I'd love to have you on. And I will never force anybody to do it. I will not. But what I will do is make sure that you are treated with respect. I will make sure of that. Yes. See, I don't have this huge following for people to come in and bitch about you. No, the people that follow me want to actually hear what you have to say. So yeah, this essence is a spiritual experience, but really it's just an awareness of something that you had. But take it for what it is, man. Yeah. Most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problem in the light of our experience can recover. That's why earlier when I was saying, when it comes to newcomers, the one thing I put out that I give automatically, I don't even need to know your name, is respect. It helps more alcoholics because what we're doing is fucking hard. The guy in the noon meeting had a slip over the weekend. And he's like, I'm not sure why. I said, it was Thanksgiving weekend, dude. You didn't need anything else. And he goes, yeah. I mean, you were just dealing with something beyond your control. But you came back. And that is what? It's progress. You wouldn't have done that before, but you're like, oh man, I got to get back to that AA meeting. I gotta give myself another chance. Fucking hallelujah. I heard my sponsee today say, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I am sober for my wife and kids. And if that's what fucking works right now, then that's what fucking works. Okay? Is he dependent upon them to stay sober? No. But if that's what it takes, I'm going to give it to him. Okay. You just let me know when. The offer, it's a standing offer. But I don't want to be like, you need to be on the podcast. And sometimes I forget how many times I've asked somebody. So if I repeat, okay, I may even forget that you are on the podcast. I may forget. I'm the kind of guy that I rent a movie, right? Go to Blockbuster, rent a movie. Oh, a great movie. Go back, put it in the bin, and rent it again immediately, not thinking, oh, this looks cool. I was sober at that time. Right? So, and who can honestly face his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. Yeah. Even science is a higher power. It's bigger than you. The cosmos, sure. The Milky Way, the planet Mars. Yeah. Because the thing is the earth wouldn't be here if everything wasn't perfect. And I mean literally right down to like tiny, tiny atoms and shit. But the gravity was just a little bit off. I don't know how you rate gravity density. I don't know. If it was just a little off, we would not be here. See, something perfect had to happen in the world. Could have been the Big Bang. I don't know. I don't fucking care. Actually, I do. I love science. I love science. Right? Go listen to Neil deGrasse. I always fuck up his name. He talks about science and God a lot. And it makes sense to me. See? Yeah. Ingrid wrote her own third step. It's fucking awesome. And it even says in there, if this doesn't fit for you, rewrite it. That's how free it is. That's how much of your own will we want you to have. I want to tell you what to do. But what I would love to do is give you the information so you could have a better life, so you could join me on the broad highway. Because gosh, it's fun here. It's fun here. And the more people that we have, the more that we ensure that all of us will stay sober and live a good life. Yeah. See, a lot of us are doing this, and we're planting trees of the shade of which we will never sit. Right now, we are sitting in the shade of the people that came before us. Well, now we got to plant those new trees for the next people coming. All right. And the trees we're sitting under, I mean, look how long it takes for a tree to grow. What? 50 years? Well, what does that mean? Well, that means you have a direct connection to the original 100. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. And let's put it in today's terms. Amber's been saying it a lot. I'm going to keep saying it too. Let's just put it a different way. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. It's only as hard as you make it. And it's totally true. Finding your higher power is only as hard as we decide to make it. It's okay that it was hard. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But my higher power, they did not set any expectations for me to ask for help. No. There was nothing there except me blocking, saying, well, it's not according to what I want. But never once did I say, what do you want? But when I did that, bam, that's when everything started to change. And then I turn around and all my needs are filled. And nowadays I even get what I want because my wants are in line with God's will. Most of the times, not all the times. Yeah. Willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. That is the how of the program. That's the how of the program. There is a principle, which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation, something I do not hear about in AA much. We used to use that line all the time. Well, okay, so here's the thing. What is contempt prior to investigation? That would mean I didn't look at everything with an open mind first. I didn't. I was very closed-minded. I was belligerent. But that comes with what? Alcoholism. And we're born with that. Right? So this essence of a spiritual experience or finding a power greater than yourself to be able to help is a necessity. People are like, well, I go to Smart Recovery because, I don't want to talk about God. Oh, okay. Still do the same work. It doesn't have to be called God, right? Just like, I like how Amber had put it. I know, Amber, you said a lot of great shit lately, so I'm going to repeat it. It's like a shirt. A shirt has different names, like blouse or long sleeve. I can't think of any of them now. Anything I'm going to say is going to have shirt in it. So, but see how we can have these there's different types of trees. See, God's just a word. It's just a word. Have you not watched The Matrix? Love, it's just a word. Okay. It's the meaning that it implies. Right? Just like our reaction to life. It's the meaning that it implies. Well, the meaning can only be done in action. See, God is action. God is everything. It's the whole thing. Right? So, and you're free to choose. You're free to choose. See, God just means, I say God so that you understand what I'm saying. But I don't believe in maybe I am a little bit more. I'm trying to see, I'm at a point where I'm trying to see where religious people are right. Sure, because there's a lot of good stuff in that. I don't have to sit there and focus on the bad apples. Bad apples and everything. So, the spiritual experience, did it happen quickly? That's right. Did it happen slowly? That's right also. See, it's all correct. You are correct. Your experience is fact. Okay? But your experience is different than mine. That's why we must speak. No one person, I cannot keep somebody sober. I can't do that. I can't keep them sober. Yes, the X factor. Did you want me to talk on that? Okay, I'll end with that. So AA is cognitive behavioral therapy. It's CBT, which I understand very, very well also as part of the counseling and all that, right? Well, they work with what's called the X factor. We work with a higher power, right? Well, and even there, the only reason I say God and not higher power is because it doesn't quite fit into sentences. It doesn't roll. All I would ever say is higher power. But then if I said higher power to somebody who does, see now, okay, see, so Why do I call God God? Because I'm not terminally unique. That's why. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's a good one. I'm glad that we switched it over and people are joining the other one because I think that split was a good idea. All right. Well, I'm done for today. I'm going to go play video games till 6 o'clock, and then I'm going to watch the Broncos. I do not trust us on prime time right now. Just don't. But we're playing the Browns, and that's always a battle with the Browns. So it'll be a good game either way. That I get to hang out with my wife. I forgot to do laundry yesterday because football wasn't on. Better go get that started too. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. I love you. Peace out. And 2 people have said this today. I appreciate it. And